Hello, this is Andrea Kleibel-Kurtzman,
And Judith Marians.
and you're listening to Brava, a podcast for women in the creative industries.
Andrea, I'm sure you've experienced it as I have. If you're in a position of any kind of power or importance, you're going to have instances where you have to make a proposal to people. And of course, your intention is to succeed. So I have found that most women and most people in general are really kind of petrified of the rejection of their project. And I found a way to deal with that fear.
Yes, I know that in general that's a real problem, especially for young women starting out. How do you help?
The most fundamental step is find out what the person on the other side of the table from you finds important and needs. Sometimes it has to do with what the business of the day is, and sometimes it has to do with the fact that they want to elevate themselves in the eyes of their peers and their superiors. And sometimes it has to do with they have to measure their competitors. So you need to look for what it is that that party is looking for, because not only do you propose something that it is an advantage to you, but if you can't propose something that's an advantage to the person you're talking to, they're not going to want to deal with you.
So what is she supposed to be looking for exactly?
Well, there's so much information online today. If you can look online and do your research as to that particular person, what they're doing, what their successes have been, what their failures have been, what trajectory they're on, you can more or less formulate what it is that they want to achieve in any situation with somebody when they're meeting with them. And if they're not online, then you can try and kind of look to the business or the industry that you're involved in and see what the general advantages are to the people that you will like to deal with. And you structure your proposal around advantages to your opposing party, as well as the outcome that you want to come away with.
So if you're prepared with what the other party wants, is that when you create your proposal?
Yes, your proposal is really kind of like a sculpture. You have to sculpt it in terms of what you want to look like and in terms of what they want to look like, because any proposal is a two-way street. Both of you have to come away feeling that you've gained something and that you're both winners and that you both have an advantage. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
So obviously it's very important to think strategic ahead of time and purposely build in certain giveaways, correct?
Well, yes, if you're going to have a give and take in any kind of negotiation, you're going to give as well as want to take. So if you don't have something to give and you don't frame that from the very beginning, you're going to be caught up short. So what I normally do in proposals is I build in some fat. I say that's the stuff that I want, but I don't have to have in order for me to come away and live well with what I've accomplished. And that's the first stuff that I can give away without feeling as if I have nothing to gain from this exchange. So yes, build in what you think you can give away, but you'd like to have, but you can live without. And then also, whatever your primary proposal is, you start at the highest level so that you can reduce it in order for the party on the other side of the table to feel that they've gained something.
So in other words, if the opposite rejects something that's really important to you, then you have some wiggle way around it, right?
Yeah. Whatever is important to you, you have to have almost, I think, 3 levels of importance. The best case, the good case, and I can live with it case. And you prepare all of those 3 levels in advance, and you have them right there in bullet point or however you function best. And when that party comes to you and say they can't live with the essence of your agreement, you go to from best case to good case. Not only does it allow them to feel like they've gained something, but it allows them to feel powerful in the situation which you want them to feel. You don't want to feel that you've created an oppressive situation for your counterpart.
So when you run into an objection, can you just ask outright what the objection is based on?
I always do. Normally, people object to what they hear and not what they're really concerned with. So how I say something or how I propose something is not the essence. It is what their major concern is. So I normally say, tell me your concern about this point. And then they get to the heart of the matter, and I can deal with the heart of the matter. I also try to research that in advance, and I have my positions for the heart of the matter, my best case, my good case, and I can live with it case.
And can you expect someone to think of an alternative, a viable alternative right there at the moment?
No, most people try to think that, oh my God, I'm going to be caught up short. No, you do this well in advance. And if you've been in a situation, in a business, in a performance art long enough, you know what's on the mind of people that you deal with. And so you can frame your 3-step alternatives: best case, good case, and I can live with it case. And you do that in advance. And if you can come up with an alternative right there on the spot, not only sounds smart, but you're going to move things along.
And what is if you can't be malleable?
That happens. If you can't be malleable and you can't come away with what it is that you have in mind and what it is that you really need, then you end the negotiation or the exchange or the proposal and you thank the other party and you go away with a smile and a handshake, because you're not only selling your proposal, you're selling yourself, and you want to leave the door open doing business in the future because you two got along and you like each other.
So most of what you do to avoid rejection of your proposal is done well before you enter the room by implementing a certain strategy.
Yes, it's just like romance. How can I give my opposite what she wants and also get what I want? Do your homework, and very